So it's nice to just kind of have those tools with us. Just making sure everything's recording. Got my time lapse on. Good. Just want to double check that. Recording. Recording. Perfect. And so just sitting up in our chair. Got a nice lounger here today. So sitting up nice and tall and roll those shoulders down and back. You can either have your hands resting on your lap or on your knees. And let's just close our eyes. Just coming into our space and letting go of our day so far in our day to come, and just be present with me for the next 60 minutes or so. So as we're sitting up nice and tall, eyes are closed, let's just become aware of our breath, moving in and out of our body, not manipulating, just noticing awareness. Now let's start to deepen our breath. So bringing the breath in through our nose, take it all the way down to your belly, fill it up like a big balloon. And then as you slowly exhale out your mouth, just let it go. Do that a couple more times. Inhale through the nose, bring it all the way down. And slower exhale out your mouth. Let those shoulders drop, the jaw release. Let's do that one more time. Inhale all the way down. And slower exhale. Good. Now that we've got our breath, let's just take a body scan. So visualize a beam of light moving from the crown of your head down to the bottom of your feet this morning. Just take it in little measurements, noticing how you're feeling today. Any little stresses or tensions built up from the night, from the week. Just notice where they are in your body. Just finishing off that body scan. Couple more rounds. Let's start to think about our intention for our practice, even past our practice, our day. So intention is focus. Where do you want your focus to go today? Whether it's about your breath today, just to be mindful throughout our practice, listening to your body, or just to do your best and leave the rest. Whatever it is for you today. And setting that intention in towards your heart. And from your heart, send it through the crown of your head, your crown chakra, into the universe and let it go. Now that we've made room in our hearts, let's bring in gratitude. Gratitude for this space. Amazing. Gratitude for this time together, this body that got us here today. So much to be grateful for, especially at the beginning of a new year. And bring that gratitude in towards your heart. And from your heart, send it through the crown of your head, your crown chakra, into the universe and let it go. Now we'll just take 3 more deep breaths. So just visualize that breath going in through your nose, bring it all the way down. And slower exhale out your mouth, let the shoulders drop, the jaw release. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale through the nose, bring it all the way down. And slower exhale out your mouth. One more time for fun. And exhale. Good. Now let's just slowly flutter our eyes open and coming back into our space. and turning up the corners of our mouth. I'm gonna gently rock from side to side, just checking in with those hips today. One thing about Costa Rica is they always have super hard beds here. I don't know what it is, but yeah, my hips get really tight here. So I'm just going to be really gentle with them this morning. I already had my walk on the beach, saw the sunrise, amazing, a little bit of cloud drifting through it. Love for you to guys come down and visit me sometime. I'll put a picture. I took a picture of it. I'll put it in our email today. So just rocking from side to side. Now we're going to make circles with those hips. So slowly going in one direction and then making that circle a little bit bigger and then a little bit bigger. Maybe get the shoulders into it. Bring one shoulder in and one shoulder out. Yeah, that feels better already. And then slowly bringing it back to center, just sitting up nice and tall, making those circles a little bit smaller. Good, and bringing it back to center, and now we'll change directions. Again, little circles to begin with, just rock back and forth. Really nice to do whenever you just need to, can't get away from your desk or whatever's going on. Maybe you're in the car and you're not driving or we're traveling. It's just nice to move these hips a little bit in a restricted, confined space. Good. Let's get those shoulders into it again. Just slowly bringing them in and then out. Well, let's just do that a couple more times. Oh, yeah. And then slowly bringing it back up. And sitting up nice and tall. Good. Now, still having our hands on our, just, behind our kneecaps. We're going to do some cat cows while we're sitting. So that's really nice to do as well. Just wakey that spine. So on our next inhale, we're just going to lengthen our chin up towards the sky, dropping those shoulders away from our ears as we inhale. Now, as we exhale, we're going to reverse that. So bringing the chin in towards our heart, rounding the back behind us as we exhale. And then inhale, lengthen it back up. Maybe moving those shoulders from side to side, just releasing any stress or tension. And then exhale, bringing that chin in towards your heart again. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lengthening up. So we're more of a lengthening, not a crunching in the back of the neck. So just lengthening that chin up. And then exhale, rounding it back behind us. And then bringing it forward. Still warming things up. So we'll just bring our hands by our sides. We're going to do some arm sweeps to begin with. So we're going to inhale those arms up. And maybe the fingertips reach, maybe they don't. And then exhale brings us back down. Chin tucks in towards your heart. As we inhale it back up, maybe look up towards the thumbs. Checking in with that neck, make sure it's okay. Ask for permission. Inhale back up, maybe look up towards those thumbs again. Good. Now this time as we inhale up, let's slowly twist over towards one side. So I'm going to bring that one hand down to rest on the outside of my thigh, and the other hand's going to come behind me and look over that shoulder. Again, you just want checking in with the breath here, guys. I want to restrict that breath. Remember, breath is number one. So if that breath is kind of restricted in this twist, back off, okay? I really want you to make sure you get that breath all the way down, okay? So it's not all about the twist. It's about the breath and the twist. You got to work together. So looking over that shoulder, just a couple more deep breaths. And then we're going to inhale it back to center. Big inhale. And then exhale, let's bring it over towards the other side. Bringing that other hand to the outside of that thigh, looking over the other shoulder. Again, just checking in with that twist again. You don't want to restrict that breath. Make sure that breath can get all the way down to your belly. Now, as we inhale, we're just going to lengthen up. And then exhale, come into that twist a little bit deeper. Inhale brings us back. We're going to bring those arms up above our head. And this time we're going to exhale and bring it forward and just resting those elbows on your just behind your kneecaps and just check in with that lower back. Maybe wiggling from side to side, just releasing any tension again. I'm always very mindful of other people's, vertigo or some issues they might have going on with their body. So if this is enough for you today, you can stay right here. Or if you want to bring one hand down onto the earth and then the other, and then tucking your chin in towards your heart and bringing the top of your head down towards the ground. And maybe moving that head from side to side. But take your time. Check in with that lower back, still pretty early. And we're going to slowly bring it back up. Bringing one hand onto the thigh and then the other. Slowly make your way back up. Yeah, maybe looking up towards the sky. And let's bring those hands behind us. So if you're in a chair, you can grab a hold of the back of the chair or the side of the chair. And we're just going to open up our heart again. Our nice little camel pose in the chair. All right, let's slowly bring it back. Now let's take this arm. This is my right arm, but it might be your left arm. I'm not really sure how it goes with this thing. We're going to take that arm and we're going to place it on our, just our shoulder blades here to begin with. Then that other arm is going to just gently move that elbow so it's looking up towards the sky. But again, I want you to make sure that it's just to where you stop, okay? There's no forcing, there's no shoving. Yeah. Nice little opening in the back of that arm. And we're going to take that arm that was behind your back and bring it across your body. And taking that other arm and just give a little pressure there. And dropping that shoulder down away from your ear. And we'll slowly release that and shake it out. Shake out those arms. And let's do that on the other side. So we'll take that other arm, just place it on that shoulder blade a little bit lower, wherever it reaches, no pressure. And then a little bit of help with the other hand, just moving it down so that elbow can reach up towards the sky. A little bit more. Get that out. Now let's release that out. Let's bring it across our body again. A little bit of pressure. Let's just move that head from side to side. For women, we can multitask. So just checking in with the neck this morning. Then let's shake that out. Yeah. Speaking of the neck, let's bring that ear towards that shoulder. Okay, so making sure those shoulders are dropped down. Feel a nice openness side of the neck. Really nice to do it for on one of these things all day. Get those shoulders, your neck, some love here. We're going to inhale that head back up and bring it over towards the other side. Now this side might be a little stuck, and that's okay. Just going to let it drop to where it wants to. And we're just going to stay here for about another 3 deep breaths. And then slowly bringing it back to center. We're going to bring that chin over towards one shoulder. Feel a nice open the side of the neck again. And then inhale it back to center. And then over to the other side. I'm going to slowly bring it back to center. Let's do some shoulder rolls now. Things are kind of warmed up. So bringing those shoulders behind us, opening things up. Maybe the elbows want to get in on the party too. Just doing some rotations there, opening things up. And let's start to reverse it. So just starting with the shoulders again, little rotations forward towards me. And then maybe the elbows want to get in. Good. All right, let's wiggle that all out. Ooh, shake it out. All right, bringing it back to center. Good. Now we're going to slowly get out of our chairs now with our chair pose. So we're just going to take our time doing this chair pose as we make our way up. So we're going to have our feet right underneath our knees or just slightly behind, just like as if you're getting out of a chair. So take that stance. Our knees can be, hip distance apart or a little bit closer, whatever works for you. We're going to roll those shoulders down and back. And we're going to have the intention that we're going to get out of the chair, but we're not going to do it yet. We're just going to have that momentum. Um, let that momentum and anticipation build with our chair pose. Our fingertips can come down towards the earth as we inhale forward, just lifting those sitting bones off the chair a little bit to begin with. Ooh, just activating those legs. Yeah, bring it back. On our next inhale, let's bring it forward again. We're not getting out. This time we are, though. So on our next inhale, let's get out of that chair. Woo. There we go. Keep it nice and low. We're going to do little pulses. Okay, just little pulses for about 5 minutes or so. No big deal. Dee, you don't know that joke, but that Jan just, I know she doesn't mean it. So little pulses, a couple more times. Now on our next inhale, let's slowly bring it up. Let's reach it up towards the sky. So bending one elbow, reaching those fingers. And the other side, back and forth. Ah, squeaky wakey everything. And then bringing both hands up towards the sky. Really open it up. Maybe look up towards those thumbs if that's okay. And then we're going to bring our hands into prayer and bring it down towards our heart. Interlace our fingers and bringing that interlace in towards our heart as we inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to push that interlace away and move it up towards the sky. And then that interlace is going to come over to one side. Chin tucks in towards our heart. Inhale it back up and exhale over towards the other side. Inhale it back up. Let's release that interlace. Let's bring it behind us and bring in those knuckles down towards the earth. Okay, those knuckles coming down towards your heels, dropping those shoulders away from your ears, really opening up our heart. Oh, good. Let's release that interlace and let's inhale it all the way up. And exhale all the way down to our heartbeat. Now, while we're standing up right here, might as well get our balance off our to-do list. If you haven't done it already, I recommend always doing a balance pose while you brush your teeth in the morning, because that's a hard you're going to do, brush your teeth. And please tell me you do brush your teeth twice a day. Used to be a dental assistant. So it's nice to just get that little bit of balance to start our day. But we're going to do a little bit more today. Okay, so first things first, we have our feet about hip distance apart. So hip distance, if you bring your knuckles together and put them in between your feet. So your hips aren't as wide as we all think. You're gonna find a spot in front of you that's not moving. So not me, not your cat that's going by or anything else. Okay, so just spot on the floor somewhere. And hands are on our hips, and we're just gonna bring our weight into that right leg. So a little bend in that right knee, and we're gonna bring that left knee up towards the sky. Yeah, easy way to start our day. Again, this knee doesn't have to be very tall, just like if you were brushing your teeth in the morning, just that little bit of balance. And then bringing it back down. Shake out that legs a little bit. And let's bring our attention to that left leg. Okay, a little bend in that knee. Focus on something in front of you. Again, a gentle gaze. It's not like you're mad at that spot on the floor. Just a nice gentle gaze, like, hey, you're going to help me out with this balance, aren't you? Hands are on our hips. And the other knee comes up. Okay, just staying here for a couple deep breaths. We start to lose our balance as we get older. So really nice to put these exercises in whenever we can. Even if we're at the airport or Line up the grocery store. Good. All right. Good things happen in threes. So let's move on. Let's bring our awareness into that first leg again, and then bringing up that other knee. This time we're going to interlace our fingers behind or underneath that kneecap. Okay. So standing up nice and tall, back and neck nice and long here. Yeah. Now let's flex and point those toes. Back and forth. Yeah. Maybe you want to go as fast or as slow. Maybe do some circles here. One direction and then the other. Yeah. And bring that knee in towards your heart and bring that foot out in front. Woo. Arms out in front. And let's bring it down. Shake it out. Let's do the other leg. So bring our focus into the other leg and then bringing up that other knee, interlacing our fingers, standing up nice and tall, focusing on something, gentle gaze. And let's flex and point here. Back and forth. And we can go as fast or slow. And I'm going to point my toes down towards the earth. A little stirring of my tea. One direction and then the other. Good. Bring that knee in towards your heart. And let that leg go forward. Arms come forward. And then bring it all the way down. Good. Like I said, good things happen in threes. What are we going to do next, Jen? All right, let's bring our awareness into that first leg again. And bring up my right leg. This is my right. And I'm going to turn that right knee out to the side, placing the sole of the right foot either above or below the knee. Okay. All right. Our tree pose here. Bringing those hands into prayer. Now, we've got a lot of palm trees here, so let's grow our palm tree up towards the sky. Ooh, maybe those leaves drop down. It's kind of cool. Ooh. Let's bring those arms, those hands up above us, and then bring it down. Ooh, let's kick everything forward again and let it go. Now, my balance is really good today. I don't want to jinx it, but every day is different. And it's no big deal about judging it. It is what it is, and whatever you can do every day is awesome. Don't say, "Oh, I suck at balance." It just might be the day, it might be the time, even. So just keep it going. So we're gonna bring our awareness into that other leg, a little bend in that knee. I'm gonna bring up my left leg this time, and then turn that left knee out to the side, placing that left foot above or below that knee joint. Okay. Ooh. Hands come into prayer again. Standing up nice and tall, big smile on our faces. It's only balance. And let's grow that palm tree back up. And now let's branch it out. There's so many different kinds of palms. You never know till you get down here, and they're just like these big fan ones that come straight out, and they're just so beautiful. And then there's little ones that are red, and they hardly grow at all. And yeah, there's so many palm trees, just like we have so many maple trees, so many different kinds. And let's open up our heart towards the sky. And let's bring those hands in and hands down. Kick everything forward. Shake it out. Good. Yay, we got our balance off our to-do list. Now, ladies, good job. So I'm going to come down onto, well, we're going to come onto my mat. I was just on the floor before. I'm going to take a nice wide stance here. Again, with the way things are, move things. Yeah, so a nice wide stance. I'm thinking it's hard to see with this screen. It's so much light out here. So a nice wide stance with those legs. So our toes right now are facing towards the long side of our mat. If you're on a mat, making sure that they're parallel-ish. And we're just going to move those hips from side to side again. I'm really big on hips, big on balance, neck. Yeah, I'm moving those hips from side to side. I've warmed those up. Let's slowly turn one set of toes out to the side. So those toes are facing towards the short side of the mat now. Okay. And I've got a little bend in my knees so that that one knee is nice and bent. That other leg is nice and long behind. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm a little bit closer today. Didn't really hear me last week, but maybe my earbuds are helping a lot. But you guys let me know, okay? Again, I'm such a rookie on this. So still pulsing with those legs, arms up above our legs, and looking towards that front hand, middle finger, big smile on our faces, really opening up that heart. Good. Now let's flow it a little bit now. So we're going to inhale those hands up above our head while we take a little bend out of that front knee. And then exhale drops us back into that warrior two. Inhale it back up and exhale. Now this time as we inhale up, maybe we can look up towards those thumbs. That feels okay with the neck. And then flow it back into that warrior two, looking towards those middle fingers again. Let's just stay right here. Ooh. Good. Let's drop that one hand down. And that front hand's going to spin up towards the sky. And we're going to bring it up and over. We're going to nice open that side body. Yeah. Inhale brings us back. Bring it back into that warrior two. Now that hand's going to come onto the thigh. And the other hand's going to reach up towards that blue sky. Inhale back to warrior two. We're going to bring that hand down. We're going to spin that right palm up towards the sky, or whichever hand you have. And really open it up and bring it down. We're going to bring that hand down. We're going to move that other hand up towards the sky. Whew. And then bring it back into that warrior two, looking towards that middle finger. There. We're going to spin those toes now, so they're the long side of our mat again. And just moving those hips from side to side. I don't like to say too long on one side. You can get away with that when you're in your 20s and 30s. But as we get older, just, yeah, rotate as much as possible. That's why it's really nice to do a yoga with an older instructor, because really mindful of that. It just doesn't work out so well when we stay too long on one side. So we're going to take those other toes towards the back side of your mat this time and bend that knee. That other foot's going to be parallel to the back of the mat or the front of the mat. And then those arms come up above your legs again. Little pulses here. And just making sure that knee's moving towards those middle toes. Okay, as we go, they're not going wonky over to one side or the other. They're pretty stable and supported. And then we'll start to flow here again, guys. So bringing those arms up above our head, maybe those fingertips touch. And then exhale brings us back in. Inhale it back up. And exhale. Inhale back up. And exhale. Let's do it one more time for fun. Inhale it up. And exhale. Let's stay right here in that warrior two, looking towards that middle finger, really opening up our heart, big smiles on our faces. Let's drop that back hand down onto that thigh. Spin that other palm up towards the sky. And let's bring it up and over. Inhale brings us back up. Let's bring that hand onto our thigh and reach that other hand up towards the sky. Really opening up our heart. Good. Let's bring it back into that warrior two. That hand comes down the thigh. The other palm spins up towards the sky. Bring it up and over again. Whew. Now it's getting warm. It's got to be 30 now. Oh. Inhale it up. And exhale. Back into that warrior two. I'm just staying here for a few deep breaths. Ooh. Now let's take those toes and place them along the long side of our mat again. Hands are on our hips, Making sure that my camera will be able to see me. Now, on our next inhale, we're going to slowly lead with our chin and our heart and come down towards the earth. Now, I want to move this camera a little bit lower now. Legs nice and wide, and bringing one hand down onto the earth and then the other. Really nice to have a block. Brings that earth up to you, not the other way around. So that's kind of nice too. A little bend in those knees still. And bringing our chin in towards our heart, and the top of the head reaches down towards the ground. And let's just move that head from side to side. Releasing any stress or tension in towards Mother Earth. She can take it. Just some deep breaths here. And we're going to slowly bring ourselves back up. And we're going to turn our toes so they're facing towards the corners of our mat-ish. Okay. And those knees are going to move towards those toes. So keeping it nice and safe. Now our hands are going to be straight underneath our shoulders still. And we're going to move those knees from side to side. So bending the knees, making sure that they come towards those toes, going in one direction and then the other. Now, maybe there might be one side you want to linger on a little bit longer. And I welcome you to stay there. That feels good. Maybe even a challenge today. Over towards the other side. And then bringing it back to center. Now let's wiggle those fingers or toes towards each other a little bit more. Okay. So it's still a nice wide gap in between our feet. But we're going to bring one hand onto our thigh and then the other. Bring ourselves up a little bit. And then move our arms up. So this is goddess legs or sumo kind of squat here. And then we're going to have goddess arms or goal posts, cactus arms, lots of different names. So you can kind of get what we're doing here. So I'm bringing those elbows back behind us, really opening up our heart here. And then we're going to drop our hips down towards the earth. A little challenge. Good morning. Inhale it back up just a little bit. And then exhale brings us back down. Maybe drop those hips down a little bit more. Ooh. Inhale it back up. Yeah, really slow. Good. And drop it down about halfway this time. And we're going to lift up one heel. And drop it down. And then the other heel. Yeah. Here. On the next inhale, we're going to reach it up towards the sky. Oh. And then as we exhale, let's bring our hands into prayer. Our feet are about more than hip distance apart. We're going to bring it all the way down. And those elbows can just be resting on your thighs or to the inside of your knees. Oh. Just staying here for a couple deep breaths. Good. And let's slowly bring it all the way down to the ground. Bring you guys down with me. All the way onto our mats now. Too close. Good. So we're sitting down on our mats. Legs are nice and bent, knees are bent. Toes are facing up towards the sky. We're going to go for a little bit of a boat ride here. A couple different options in our boat ride. So we're going to bring our hands behind us, having our fingertips looking towards our sitting bones here. You can kind of lean back in that. Or you can bring your hands underneath your thighs. So on our next inhale, just lengthening that heart up toward the sky. And then let's bring one shin parallel to the earth. Check that out. And let's bring up the other one. Now still sitting up nice and tall, bring those shoulders back, engaging that core. So just pulling that belly in towards your spine just to activate that core a little bit. We're going to bring one shin up again, and then the other. Ooh. Yeah. Now you can stay right here, or maybe drop those hands. Bring them out to the sides. And again, just focusing on the spot in front of you. Biggest smile. Yeah. Let's work that core. And maybe lengthening those legs, straighten them out. And then exhale, bring those knees in. Now we're just going to do that 50 more times. Jan's not even paying attention. She's like, okay, Jen. Now let's bring it in. And let's do it one more time. Let's bring those knees in. Ooh. Let's make ourselves into a little ball here, putting those feet onto the earth. And let's just give ourselves a hug. Yes, we did it. So wrapping those hands around our knees, moving that head from side to side. Oh, really lengthening up our heart. And rounding it down, rounding that back behind us. Good. Now we're going to come all the way onto the earth now. So all the way down. Kind of kicked your butts last week with a lot of plank and that. We're going to just do a little bit more of a back strengthening this week. So coming on to our bellies, awesome. And we're going to just manipulate or come into our Sphinx pose. Really nice for that lower back. It's a great prevention of osteoporosis. So having our elbows right underneath our shoulders to begin with. And we just want to check out with that lower back. Is that too much sensation this morning? Is it too much? And if it is, just bring those elbows a little bit forward. You can see how that kind of releases some of that sensation. So I want you to kind of test drive this, see where those elbows want to stay today. Because we're going to stay here for a little bit. And I want you to be comfortable, but not too comfortable. Okay, it's that Goldilocks position. I want you to get some sort of challenge out of this and benefit from it, but not too much. So checking in with those elbows, it's feeling pretty good. Those hands are out in front, fingers nice and spread. And just leading with our chin, maybe even looking up toward the sky a little bit, but making sure that there's no crunching in the back of that neck. We're just opening that up. So we're opening up our heart. So just checking in with those hands, fingers nice and spread, forearms are resting on the earth. Elbows, of course, are right underneath your shoulders or slightly ahead. Those shoulders are nice and relaxed. Let's move down to the lower back. Yep, check. Then our legs are nice and long behind us. Maybe lifting up one leg and then the other. So they're nice and long here. We're just going to take our time in this pose. I missed it last week for some reason, but it is a staple in our practice. It's really important to have this lower back health as much as we can in our practice. Because what we're doing is we're creating a frenzy with this bend. So all the blood is kind of rushing to this area going, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And then as we release it, we kind of send in new blood into that area, kind of gushes in just like a breaking of a dam or something like that. So it really sends in new life force, energy into that area and rejuvenate it. So really nice to do as much as possible. We're just going to stay here for maybe 5 more deep breaths here, guys. Maybe moving the head from side to side. That feels good. Moving it from one side, just taking your time. And to the other side. Yeah. We're going to slowly bring our elbows away from each other and bringing our hands right underneath our shoulders. We're going to slowly move up into table pose. So our hands or our wrists are right underneath our shoulders and our knees are right underneath our hips. Big toes are coming together, and we're going to drop those hips down towards the earth. Again, maybe those hips are up here, that's okay. And then maybe bringing the forearms down, maybe even the forehead down. Let's just drop those hips down towards your heels, any amount. Again, just to where they stop. Okay, just listen to your body. It doesn't matter where they are. If they're way up in the air still, that's okay. But what we're doing is releasing that gush of energy like I was talking about before. I always want to counterpose all of our, especially the more sensational poses. So maybe your forearms are down, your forehead is down. And let's just stay here for 5 deep breaths. Slowly bring ourselves back up. Come back into that table pose. I'm just going to flow those hips from side to side again, back and forth. And then bringing those hips up towards the top of our mat. Oh, that feels okay. Again, any amount, no worries. And then maybe those hips can come back towards your heels. Let's bring it back into table pose. Come on to one hip, then the other, bringing those legs out in front. And this time we're just going to slowly roll onto our backs. So back and neck nice and long here. So knees are bent, feet are on the floor, back and neck nice and long, shoulders resting on the earth. Hands are going to be by our sides, palms facing down. And just bringing those heels in towards your bum a little bit. And we're going to slowly bring our hips up towards the sky, just a little bit. We're just going to flow this bridge pose. So bringing those hips down towards the earth, letting them rest. Now on our next inhale, let's bring those hips up a little bit higher. And then bringing them back down. And good things happen in threes. Now this time as we inhale those hips back up, back and neck nice and long here. Arms are by your sides, palms facing down. Let's bring up those hips as high as you like here. And just to where they stop, really opening up that front body. Feels really good. And then maybe walking those feet a little bit closer towards your buttocks so you can lift up those hips a little bit higher. And your neck still resting on the earth, your shoulders, hopefully not looking around. Good. And just a couple more deep breaths. And then we're going to slowly let that spine come all the way back onto the earth, one vertebrae at a time. Let's bring that right knee in towards your heart. Give a little hug. And let's bring the left one in. Give a little hug too. These guys are awesome. Done a lot for us today already. So grateful. And just rocking from side to side. Oh, releasing that lower back. It'll feel good after that long Sphinx pose we just did. Now keeping that right knee in, we're going to drop that left foot down to the ground. So that left foot is on the ground, left knee is bent up towards the sky. We're going to take that right leg and we're going to place it on top of the left. So there's a number 4 shape with our legs. Those right toes are going to be pointing up towards that right knee, really activating that leg. So it's not really taking a rest here. It's still very active. And then you can leave everything right here. This might feel just enough for today. Or maybe bringing those knees in towards your heart. or those legs in towards your heart. See how that feels today. So bringing those legs in just to where you stop. So you do want to feel something in that right hip. This is a very safe way to open up those hips. Really nice thing to do first thing in the morning, even before you get out of bed. 20 seconds, both sides, just hit this hip. Okay. I'm just going to stay here for a couple more deep breaths. Now bringing that left foot down onto the earth again. We're going to scooch that left hip under, and we're going to bring everything over towards the left side of our mat, okay? And maybe that right foot reaches the ground, or maybe you got a block. You can put a block underneath that right foot if it doesn't reach all the way down. Wherever it is, it's having that number 4 shape with our legs, not worrying about where it rests, but making sure that those shoulders are still resting on the earth. Very important, supporting you. Now those arms are going to come straight out from your shoulders, palms facing down. And we can look up at that beautiful blue sky, or maybe look over towards that right thumb. Just focusing in on your breath here. Just visualize that breath coming in through your nose. Bring it all the way down to your belly. And then as you exhale out your mouth, just let it go. I'm just going to stay here for one more deep breath. And when you're ready, let's bring our gaze back to center, and then our legs back to center. Ugh. So those hips are both resting on the ground. And let's extend that right heel up towards the sky. Have it nice and long. Reach it up. And keeping that right leg nice and long, let's let it go all the way and rest on the earth. So that right leg's nice and long. And let's straighten out that left leg. I always like to point out, the left and right to the side, because a lot of these poses that we do are pretty subtle, and you kind of wonder, well, what the heck am I doing here? Is it really doing anything? Well, here's your comparison right now. Yeah, you definitely can tell that we've opened up that right hip. So let's do the left. So let's both bend both legs again. And let's bring that left knee in towards your heart. And then place that left over top of the right. Again, those left toes are pointing up towards that left knee. And you can stay right here or bring those legs in towards you, any amount. Okay. But I want you to make sure that you can feel something in that left hip. Okay. And then just a reminder that that right foot is just hanging down towards the ground. It's got nothing to do, but those left toes are really active, just keeping that knee supported, keeping any kind of pressure away from that knee. And bring it in any amount. Hold a lot of negative energy in these hips, so it's really important to release them as much as possible. Like I was saying, first thing in the morning is awesome. Okay, especially if you've been in a really hard bed all night. Really nice to do. And then last thing of the day, open up those hips. We're just going to stay here for a couple more deep breaths. Now let's slowly bring that right foot down. We're going to scooch that right hip under, and then bring our legs over towards the right side of our mat. Again, something, hopefully that top leg, that top foot can reach onto the ground. If not, you got a block or a pillow to put underneath it, or maybe it's just hanging out in the air. Okay. Arms are going to be straight out by your sides again, straight out from your shoulders. And this time, let's have the palms reach up towards the sky in the gesture of receptivity. Again, you can look straight ahead or slowly look towards that left thumb. Let's just enjoy this twist right here. Just stay here for a couple more deep breaths. Let's slowly bring our gaze back to center and our legs back to center. Let's release that left heel up towards the sky, having that left leg nice and long. Ooh. Keeping that left leg nice and long, let's slowly let it go all the way down to the earth. God. And then that right leg, nice and long, let it rest on the earth. Our arms are going to come by our sides, palms facing up. Now, just like we did at the beginning of our practice, let's do another body scan just to notice how we're feeling from just a mere 60 minutes ago. So starting with that beam of light moving from the bottom of your feet up to the crown of your head, just taking in measurements, noticing how you're feeling. If there's any little tensions or stresses still left up in your body, just notice where they are. Maybe taking the breath in through the nose, bring it all the way to that area. And then as you exhale, just let it release. Just release that stress, tension. And then just repeat as needed. Carry on with that body scan a couple more times, just noticing how you're feeling. Now let's start to relax our body here, guys. So letting those feet flop out to the side. Letting the shins relax, the thighs relax. Noticing your hips on the earth. Letting that belly relax. Moving up to your heart and your shoulders. Up to your jaw, just kind of maybe wiggling it from side to side. Notice if that's tense this morning. Moving up to the bridge of your nose and your forehead. So from the crown of her head down to the bottom of her feet, everything's relaxed here. Nothing left to do but breathe and relax. So stay here for about a minute. And in this minute, hopefully you can hear the birds like I can. I'm not sure what you can all hear with these earbuds in, but the birds are just going nuts this morning here. Miss our birds down up north, that's for sure. So in this minute, just focusing on the breath. let's start to deepen our breath. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe moving our head from side to side. Maybe taking a full body stretch here, just lengthening and opening up towards the sky. And then as we exhale, bringing those knees in towards our heart, make ourselves into a little ball and just rocking from side to side, releasing that lower back. And coming to rest on one side. Any side, pick a side. Just staying there for a few deep breaths. And when you're ready, just make your way up into seated. Sitting up nice and tall. My quote today came from my tapping solution app. And if you haven't got to that part in the course, it's in the bonuses at the end. I do tapping every morning, and I follow this app, and I always have such great quotes. And I wrote this one down for you guys today. You learn to believe by believing. You learn to love by loving. Eugenia Price. Basically, you learn by doing, right? Good reminder. Now bringing our hands into prayer in front of our hearts. And just taking in a few more moments of tranquility and peace. And taking it into our day and sharing it with others. Now bringing our thumbs to our third eye and back down to our hearts. We bow and say, Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.